What if I told you there was a way you could play The Witcher 3 while a 32-year-old Google exec wearing a backpack from Zoomies your face while his Tesla plays Deep Cut Dave Matthews Band? What if I told you there was a way you could have the experience of playing Doom while Bill Cosby makes you a cold drink? What if I told you that tomorrow you could have the experience of playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey with more stuttering than an indie dev on an E3 stage?
I actually brought him with me.
That's right, at Google, we are bringing you a new way to have your face while a giant company steals your money. You thought the 2013 E3 Xbox One was bad? Wait till you hear about our proprietary I Spy on You system. You can off, Carmen Sandiego. We got a game where everything you do gets reported to the NSA. Can't you just not wait to get your pre-order in? Welcome to Too Tall Desk, where today we are talking about the absolute worst thing to be excited for in the history of gaming. But we have to talk about it because I'm seeing a lot of people being excited for the absolute worst thing to be excited for in the history of gaming. Today we're talking about Google Stadia. What, if people haven't noticed, is maybe one of the worst ideas a large company has had when it comes to AAA video games since AAA publishers. There's been a lot of news coming out about Google Stadia, but one big piece of news came out the other day that has since been kind of confirmed that tells us exactly what Google anticipates Google Stadia be. Let's start with the basics. For those of you that don't know, Google Stadia is a new game console coming from the greatest company in the world to ever make video games, Google. It's an all-streaming console, and what that means is you won't technically have a console. It's really just a streaming service where you can stream your video games. For those of you that are familiar with PlayStation Now, it's the same idea, except, well, there's more games than the Puppeteer and old Toy Story tie-ins. No offense to Sony, but if they bought Gaikai and gave us PlayStation Now instead of backwards compatibility, can't wait to hear about how we're gonna have to play our PS4 games next gen. Yeah, we're all for backwards compatibility, we really are, but here's the good news. We bought a new technology. It's called do-it-yourself bondage. So now, to play your PS4 games on your PS5, you have to tie yourself up and watch every 50 Shades of Grey movie, which, by the way, we own. And we own that. We did that. That was us. But Google Stadia is being viewed by a lot of people as the future of gaming, and let's talk about that for a second. For the entirety of this generation, most people believed that there would not be another traditional console generation, that streaming video games would be the future, and that streaming video games would take place here and now, before this generation. Remember, the last generation was supposed to be the last console generation. I want to make that abundantly clear to people excited about Google Stadia saying this is the future, get over it. That was the case last time too, remember? There was not supposed to be a PS4, Xbox One. It was already supposed to be an all-streaming future. It's 7 years later. It's still not an all-streaming future. This hype train, these people that weren't there last time, don't understand that this is just a cycle. Every single generation for the past 2 generations, which admittedly is not enough to say the words every single, but moving on, has said the same thing. Consoles are dead. And now we're realizing once again that consoles aren't dead with the future launch of the PS5 and whatever Xbox ends up naming the next Xbox. God knows it'll probably be some obscure color or Xbox One again because they've really run out of ideas. So let's talk about what Google Stadia is, the new news, and why Google Stadia is not going to work like at all. First off, let's get the obvious out of the way first. Google Stadia will operate on a subscription-based platform. There are 2 options for future Stadia buyers. There is the base and the Pro. Now, it's really important to notice the difference between the base and the Pro. These subscriptions are dramatically different. The base gets you up to 1080p, gets you no free games, it basically allows you to use the service. The Pro gets you up to 4K and gets you free games. The Pro is $9.99 a month. The base, as of right now, is free. Now you might be saying, well, that's great. It's a free service. Wonderful. Absolutely not. If you don't understand what Google is doing here, just look a tiny bit harder than you already are. They are capping your resolution and your ability to play these games like they exist within their servers on the free model. Now, what does that mean? That means that Google has every incentive to continue to chokehold the base model to get you to move up to the Pro model. That's going to exist. There is no way that this company does not further restrict the realities of the base model to get people to move to the Pro model. More importantly, if they are capping the resolution of the base model, before hitting the Pro model. What that means is that they can move around with this reality all they want. They can tell you you're getting 1080p, cap you down lower, and continue to tell you you're getting 1080p, knowing you'll notice the difference in quality and knowing it'll push you to move up to the Pro. This is a terrible idea and a terrible subscription plan. This is basically, here's a trial version, here's the real version, let's see how we can get people to get off of the trial version. Stadia has no interest at all in you signing up for the base model, period. Google Stadia under this pricing structure is like going out to Vegas, paying for a high price escort, you get her back to the hotel, she takes off her wig, and it's Jimmy Neutron trying to charge you for a brain blast and another $15 every time you want to get a whiff of his hair. It's not a good deal. And you might be wondering, well, where's the hair whiffing, Tyler? I don't understand. It's just $9.99 or free. No, it's not. Because a subscription model that costs $9.99, you know, the one they're going to push everybody towards constantly. And let me just make a little seance-like prediction here. I am going to predict that the base model will probably not exist for much longer than 6 to 8 months. We have seen this with a million different services. It's always free to start until it's no longer free to start. We always see these amazing deals, these amazing prices. Look at Movie Pass. It's not even a streaming pass. And it does the same thing. These companies want your money. They want to get you in first, but they want your money. But let's get to the nitty-gritty, the new news. And everybody kind of assumed this, but now it's been confirmed. You are going to pay full price for every single game you buy on Google Stadia. Now, yes, I know, Google Stadia is going to have a PlayStation Plus-like system where you can get a free game every month. That's amazing. I really enjoy paying to get a loot box, essentially. It's my goal in life to have every subscription service charge me money to get a random thing I don't know if or when I want every single month. I love it. Except I don't. And the fact that I have to pay full price for every game on top of a subscription fee creates a different kind of math, doesn't it? If Google Stadia costs $10 a month, right? Let's just say it stays at that price. Let's give Google the benefit of the doubt. It stays at $10 a month forever. A base model PS4 right now can get you, I don't know, $225, $250 maybe. So it would take 2 years of Google Stadia, right, to hit that price of a base model PS4. Now, let that sink in. In 2 years, Google Stadia will cost the same price as a base model console. Now, obviously, this does not apply to the launch of the next consoles, but let's just keep this going. In 7 years, Google Stadia will cost how much? I can't do math. The MBA was useless. $840. It'll cost $840. Over the course of a traditional console generation, you will pay $840 for Google Stadia Pro. You know, the one that lets you play games in 4K, which is going to be a baseline feature of every next-gen console? To play games in the quality that the baseline next-gen offers, it's going to be $840 for a console generation. That's probably going to be twice the cost of most of these systems a year after they launch. Twice the cost. And then you have to pay full price for your games on top of Google Stadia. Now, some people might be saying, well, what if they don't have the upfront cost for a console? That's wonderful. That's great. Then Google Stadia's $900 cost might make a little bit of sense. But it doesn't. Now let's skirt past that issue, right? Let's skirt past the pricing and the ridiculousness of paying a subscription on top of full price. You know, that's like going on to Netflix, them charging you $5 to $10 a month and going, oh, you want to watch Night School starring Kevin Hart? First off, don't at all. But if you, for some reason, do want to punish yourself, yeah, we're going to need like $20 more, man. I know you paid the subscription fee, but you gotta make that money. No one would use that system, and I don't know why people believe it's going to be acceptable for games. What people don't seem to be talking very much about is how Jimbo from Des Moines, Iowa is not gonna be super stoked to sit down and try to play COD on his epilepsy simulator for 12 hours. You thought 12-year-olds with mics in Modern Warfare 2 were bad? Wait till you get a hold of Jimbo after he spent 14 hours of his day milking the cows and his wife and sits down and tries to play a game at 6 FPS online. Dude's gonna be saying words you've never heard of. And more importantly, he won't continue to play Google Stadia. According to Google, you need around 30 megabytes per second of download speeds to play in 4K, which I have news for you, is not going to be the reality. Now let me tell you a little something. When I was in a dorm, which was not that long ago, I was not getting 30 megabits per second. I certainly wasn't getting 10 megabits per second reliably. I've been in apartments in New York that can't get 30 megabits per second. I've been in homes in Florida that can't get 10 reliable megabits per second. But that's not the point, is it? Because Google Stadia is going to require a lot more than 30 megabits per second on an average connection to stream in 4K. You'll be lucky to stream a movie in 4K at 30 megabits per second. This is like when your PC tells you that all you need is a John Deere tractor engine to run Battle for Bikini Bottom, and you plug it in and you're sitting here staring at what's basically a slideshow of SpongeBob and Sandy getting at it. Can't believe they're remastering that game. The internet connection you're going to need to make this reliable is probably a lot higher than both of those things, especially at 4K. And even if you are talking about hitting 30 megs per second for 4K, there is no way that 50% of this country is getting those speeds. You're not getting them in Iowa, you're not getting them in Montana and Kansas, and as much as we joke around about these states, millions of people live in these locations. The middle of the United States, the Midwestern United States, parts of big states like Florida and Cali are not getting these speeds, which makes Google Stadia borderline useless. And even if you go, well, just play in 1080p, well, why would I do that? Why would I do that when I have a generation of consoles that I can sit, put a disc in, and play at 4K whenever I want? And let's get to the final problem. What is a problem? You don't own anything you buy on Stadia. Stadia is selling you a piece of gum and then on your way out the door asking for it back. You're paying full price for games you are never going to own. You're not walking into Best Buy and walking out with a $60 disc. You're not walking into GameStop and walking out with a $40 used disc. You're not walking anywhere to get anything other than... If the conversation about games ownership doesn't start here, it's never going to, and it needs to. First off, games preservation. If we're going all streaming, how is that going to work, number one? Number two, forget that. Forget the high and mighty overarching goal of preserving games. Let's just talk about the fact that you will not own any of yours. You're paying $60 essentially for a virtual good. You're paying $60 for something you are not in ownership of. They are held on Google's end. If your account gets banned, you're not playing anything. These companies have a right to literally take away your purchases, to lock you out of them whenever they want. Now imagine Google Stadia where you don't even have the option of owning your games, where you don't even have the option of owning the things you purchase. Does that sound good to you? You're gonna pay $10 a month and $60 forget the $10 a month. Do the free version of 1080p. You're gonna get the free version of Google Stadia and then pay for things that aren't yours. And sure, you could argue, well, they're not mine on PSN either, and they're not mine on Xbox One either. That's absolutely true. The difference is they could be. And then you're like, well, what if they come with exclusives? Yeah, I'm super stoked for Google's first-party exclusives. They have a wonderful track record with video games. Can't wait for their exclusive version of Just Dance 45, where all your gameplay is uploaded to servers for intelligence agencies to watch and track. It's only a matter of time until people's homes are being raided because they accidentally mentioned the Bomberman franchise while having their shirt off dancing to some Hannah Montana. It's not the best of both worlds anymore, is it? Google Stadia is the absolute worst example of a large company thinking they can step into a space and rip people off. I don't care if streaming is the future. The future is clearly not now. These speeds, the realities of the internet across this country, the prices, the structure of these things make zero sense. They make no sense in this climate. It's not like Google Stadia has no competition. Microsoft, Xbox, and Nintendo are still making games and consoles. I can't imagine why somebody would pay to stream games when they're paying for the games as well when they have a console that they have access to here, and here. I have news for you guys. If you want to take, I don't know, your Xbox One on a plane or your PS4 on a plane, I'm pretty sure the PS5 and Xbox, whatever, Blue, are going to have a system where you can do just that. PlayStation's already fiddled with it for years with a, rest in peace, Vita and Remote Play. We're not that far off. There's no reason to go with Google here. And for those of you sitting there saying, but they might have some great games, okay, sure. And I spent years secretly moonlighting as the other half of Lil Wayne he's been missing for his whole career. That's right, he's not actually 4 feet tall. I'm the rest of them. Dumb. But now, maybe more than ever, I am incredibly curious about what you guys think. Do you believe that there is some sort of merit to Google Stadia? Do you believe that there is something here that's worth playing? And I think more importantly, would you ever give your money to a streaming service in a climate where new systems exist, where systems that you can go to tomorrow exist? Does Google Stadia have a chance to take your money under any and all circumstances? Is there a scenario where you give them a piece of the pie? Really quickly, I also want to mention my Twitter. I've been putting out videos on Twitter, gaming videos too. Content that doesn't go on YouTube. It's on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I never mention it. But yeah, if you follow me on Twitter at CleanPrinceGame, I actually put up gaming videos over there too. I'm going to put up one talking about Stadia tomorrow. It's just stuff that doesn't go on YouTube. It's short little things like 2 minutes long, but they're videos. So yeah, you can hit follow on Twitter over there. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button over here. It helps a lot more than you know. Also, hitting subscribe helps a lot more than you know. In this climate where nothing's going right, hitting subscribe means a whole lot. Hitting the bell means even more, by the way. That actually works. I guess, from what I hear, that actually helps people get the videos. So if you hit the little bell, you'll actually be notified when I upload a video, which is really cool. Like, it's a feature that works on the platform. That's incredible. So hit subscribe and hit the little bell to get more of this action whenever I upload them. I'm not going to tell you when. I don't know when, so you take that for whatever it's worth. Yeah, I'll put the Twitter in the top pinned comment down below under the read more section. If you click a little read more, I'll put the Twitter there. And until next time, guys, I'm out.